Hey guys, Ashley French here, and in this video I'm actually going to show you a really easy way to install a tile backsplash. It's easy, beginner friendly, and it's virtually mess free, so I'm really excited to show you. Now, if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that we have been remodeling our laundry room, and one of the things I wanted to do in here was to do some kind of tile backsplash here behind the washer and dryer. So what I did, you'll see we did replace the drywall here, and I'm only planning on doing the tile from about here up, since that's all you will see once the washer and dryer are pushed into place. So let's talk about what I'm going to be using. So I picked up this tile from Lowe's. It was very affordable, and it's listed as a 12-inch tile, but the actual length of it is 11 3/4 inch. And I'm planning on running it horizontally in a brick pattern. And then instead of a mastic, I'm using this really cool product here. It's called Musselbound. I've seen a lot of you guys use it. I've watched a lot of tutorials on it. It has really great reviews, and so I'm really excited to use it for the first time. It is essentially a double-sided sticky adhesive, so it will be my first time using it, but I'm really excited. I've seen a lot of people use this on kitchen backsplashes. That's where it seems to be really popular, so I think it's going to work really well here. And then I do have a really cool tool for cutting my tile that I plan to show you. I've never seen anybody use it before, and it's super easy, beginner friendly, so I'll be sharing that with you guys shortly. Now, as you can see, I am working in a tight space here, which is going to be interesting. We're not in a position to really move the washer and dryer out of the way, so I am going to just be working here in this tight space. So I appreciate you guys watching and kind of sticking with me as I work through here.
The first thing I did was dry fit my tiles, which simply means holding them up to the wall and determining where your first couple of tiles will start and which direction you will work in. Next, I held my first tile in place and drew a pencil line below it as a reference point. Then I took my cube level and attached it to the wall, lining the laser up with my pencil mark. This cube laser is really easy to use and very affordable. I will link it for you guys in the notes below.
Okay, so I just want to point out a couple important items that are listed here on the adhesive. So it does say that both the tile and the wall must be totally clean and free of dust. When you apply this, they recommend applying it vertically as opposed to horizontally. And then what you're going to do is, once I pull the backing off and I press it, we do have to press very, very firmly, because that actually activates the glue that's in the adhesive and creates the bond.
I lined the Musselbound up with the top left corner of the wall and pressed it into place. I am using a rubber float to press it firmly to the wall. I unrolled it about 24 inches and then used a utility knife to cut it. For this project, I'm only installing tile 24 inches down the wall, since the washer and dryer will cover the rest of the wall. It is important to press the Musselbound very firmly and evenly to the wall, because this activates the adhesive and ensures a super strong bond to the wall. Then I lined up my second piece, cut it to length, and again pressed it very firmly against the wall using my float. I pulled down the paper on the first piece of adhesive about halfway and then attached my first piece of tile, lining it up with my laser line. Then I used the float to press firmly on the tile. And from here, I worked my way to the right, adding more pieces of Musselbound to the wall as I worked my way across. I did have a small piece on this third piece of Musselbound that overhung onto the cabinet above it, so I just used my utility knife to cut off the excess. Now, this fourth piece of Musselbound didn't line up perfectly as you are about to see. So instead of getting a wrinkle in the adhesive, I decided to cut the bottom portion off and start a new piece below where I cut. You will see here that I'm going to be using the red spacers, which actually came with the Musselbound and are 1/16 inch wide. Now I want to show you this really easy to use handheld tile cutter kit that was very affordable and is virtually mess free. I marked where I needed to cut the tile on both the top and the bottom of the tile, and then I used my carpenter's square to get a straight line edge. Then I rolled the handheld roller blade back and forth on the tile, pressing firmly and evenly up and down. This creates a deep scratch on the tile as you are about to see. Then you will use the pressure tool, which came in the kit. You unscrew it, place your piece of tile in the tool, making sure to line up the line on the tool with the scratch line you created on the tile. Then start turning the knob on top, tightening the tool down, and the tile will snap along your scratch line. I will link this kit below.
Hey guys, all right, I'm back and I am ready to grout the tile. Something that I do want to point out is that the Musselbound adhesive that I used, it says right on it that there is no wait time between applying your tiles and starting your grout. So it's something that can be done immediately. So no wait time, which is nice. This grout here comes as a powder. You fill it up to the fill line and then you mix it up. I will say it took a very, very long time before it mixed well and became incorporated. And I like to have it as like a thick peanut butter consistency. And the color that I'm using is called Warm Gray. And so what you'll see me be doing is I have my float here and I'm just going to apply a little bit of this directly onto the float, just a little bit at a time, and start working it into the spaces between the tiles. Now I like to go, I kind of go up and down, but then I go, I'd say almost like at a 45-degree angle to really make sure that it's in all of the cracks. I will wait about 10 minutes and then I'm going to be using a lightly damp sponge. I have my bucket of water here. I want to make sure it's very, very lightly damp, like hardly any water at all. And then I'll start wiping it off. If you do this too soon, you'll actually be pulling the grout out of the cracks. And then if you wait too long, the grout will be hardened onto your tiles and it'll be really hard to get off. So you got to kind of find that happy medium. For me, it's usually 7 to 10 minutes is what I'd say. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and you will see me. I'm going to work from the left to the right.
I applied a small amount of grout to my float and started in the left top corner, pressing it in between the tiles. I dragged the float in all different directions, ensuring the grout lines were getting filled with grout. I continued to do this, working my way to the right until all the grout lines were filled. Once the grout was complete, I dipped my sponge in water. Then I squeezed out as much water as possible out of the sponge and wiped the tiles gently, removing the grout from the tiles and not from the grout lines. I repeated this 3 times, rinsing the sponge clean each time.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have questions, feel free to leave a comment, reach out to me through Instagram or on email. Make sure you check out the notes below. And if you liked this video, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up and subscribe.